Hey, what's up? This is Madan here, and I hope you probably remember me. In case you don't, and this is your first interaction with me, I'm somebody who is down to earth and has, had a lot of things to say. But just because I'm into educational mode, so I'm concerned over the main topic. So, like I made a promise, in the previous video, that I'll be starting, redox reaction from the beginning, and because I have to do two very important topics from the middle of the chapter, that was balancing of the redox reaction. So today I'm starting from each and everything, and it's from very beginning. So what that beginning is, I've written a couple of line here. Your chapter is redox reaction, and this is chapter 8 from 11th class, and the topic I have started is what is the old concept of oxidation. What that means? There are two types, there are two ways you can define oxidation. One is the modern way, and older one is the, something else. So what older one involves, that is what I'm started, So the first thing it says, you might have studied in 10th standard, that if there is an oxygen being added in a chemical reaction, that is also an oxidation reaction. Let's take an example. Any reaction you can consider, like iron, like aluminium. Let's take aluminium. Aluminium when react, or take very common example. Hydrogen when react with oxygen, it form two molecules of water. So what we see, that oxygen being added into the hydrogen. So I'm concerned about the addition of oxygen, right? So it involves addition of oxygen, adding of oxygen. So this is what oxidation reaction is. Next one is removal of hydrogen in a chemical reaction. If you try to give you the example, there's so many examples, like a reaction with a metal, with HCl. So what happens? This forms ZnCl2 and hydrogen is removed. So what is happening here? Hydrogen is removed here. So this is also an example of oxidation. Third one is, adding of electronegative atom. Electronegative atom to a substance. What that is, like FeCl2 when react with chlorine molecule, it forms FeCl3. So what is happening? Chlorine is being added. And what chlorine is? An electronegative atom. So according to the older concept, if an electronegative atom is added to a substance, this is also, how you can define oxidation, right? Let's take the fourth one. Removal of electropositive atom. Electropositive atom from a substance. So let's take the example. Suppose sodium iodide react with hydrogen peroxide. What this form? This will form sodium hydroxide, and iodine is being relieved here. So what is happening? Sodium is removing from one compound and going to some other compound. So this is how an electropositive element is removing. Let's talk about the fifth one. The fifth one says, if the valency of metal increases, I hope it's coming in the frame, increases, like SnCl2 when react with chlorine, this forms SnCl4. So what you see out here that the valency here is +2, but then it is +4. So what is happening? Increasing. Increasing. So this is also how you can define oxidation. So I've given you 5 definitions according to the older concept. What these older concepts are? First, addition of oxygen, removal of hydrogen, addition of electronegative atom, removal of electropositive atom, and the last one, if the valency of metal increases in a chemical reaction. So this is how you can find out what is an oxidation reaction, right? So let's talk about the older concept of reduction reaction. The next thing I'm going to do, I'll be talking about older concept of reduction, right? So what this older concept of reduction is? The first one, addition of hydrogen in a substance. Right? There's so many examples, but let's take an example. Hydrogen, when react with chlorine, it forms HCl molecule. So what you see that chlorine is undergoing addition of hydrogen. So this is also an example of reduction reaction. Talk about the removal of oxygen from a substance. This is also an example. Let's suppose if you heat mercuric oxide, what happens? Mercury separates and oxygen is released out. I'm not doing the balancing part because you can do that. So removal of oxygen is also an example of reduction reaction. Talk about the third one. When an electropositive atom is added to a substance. So take the example here. Suppose mercury chloride react with the tin chloride, SnCl2. Now what they do, it form Hg2Cl2, and along with that it form SnCl4. So what is happening here? Electropositive atom is added. There is one mercury, but what you see out here, there are two mercury. Talk about the fourth example. When an electronegative atom is removed. Check the example. Suppose FeCl3 react with HCl, it forms FeCl2 and plus H2. So what is happening here? An electronegative atom is being removed. There are 3 chlorine here, but there are just 2 chlorine here. Let's talk about one more, fifth one. When valency of an atom decreases, valency of a metal decreases. Check the example here. FeCl3, I'm taking that very same example. FeCl3 when react with HCl, it forms FeCl2 plus H2. So what is happening? The oxidation number here is plus 3, but there it is only plus 2. So basically it's decreasing. What is happening here? Decreasing. So this is how oxidation and reduction on the basis of older concept can be defined. This was a very small topic I wanted to do. Tomorrow or in the next video, I will try to make it happen. What coming up in the next, and that's going to be the modern concept of oxidation and reduction, and that's going to be really very important. So in case you have understand, and you need to make a copy for that, you better do that. And I have to wind this right here, and just see you in the next video. But before I wind, I must say take care.